on Worcester News tonight, prisons across the country could be facing some major cuts, including one right here in Massachusetts. Plus, Burncoat High School Robotics Team is gearing up for a big competition and being cheered on by a congressman. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. A leaked memo from the Federal Bureau of Prisons is asking for certain inmates to be moved to private prisons. The memo comes just days after facilities were told to prepare for significant staffing cuts. And one of the locations potentially facing layoffs is here in Massachusetts. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with those details. Cam?
Yeah, Anna, the Bureau says they're looking to move inmates to private prisons because of overcrowding issues, but employees up at Fort Devens here in Massachusetts say it's making them nervous about the future of their prison.
A recent announcement from the Bureau of Prisons instructs federal facilities to prepare for significant cuts. The impact could be felt at Fort Devens, where local union president David Martinez says he fears the repercussions of reducing staff.
Prisons have an established personnel count, and the more you cut into that, the more you have the ability or the possibility of shortcuts being happening, and those shortcuts could end up jeopardizing community safety.
The reason for the cuts, which could result in the layoff of thousands of federal correctional officers, may be found in a leaked memo. It asks federal facilities to transfer inmates to private prisons if they are considered low security or have less than 90 months left to serve. The memo says the moves will help with overcrowding issues, but Chief Steward Joe Gaucher says federal employees shouldn't lose their jobs to private institutions.
People are going to lose their jobs in the federal system. Those are good jobs with benefits, retirement, and things like that. Good quality paying jobs that people are going to lose or not get filled, and the private prisons are going to benefit. Their stocks will go up.
Last year, Attorney General Jeff Sessions rescinded an Obama administration plan to reduce the use of private prisons. Congressman James McGovern says the country should not be looking to privatize inmates.
We need to fund our prisons so that we're not just warehousing, prisoners, but, we're providing opportunities to hopefully, rehabilitate some of our prisoners so they can come back into society.
Congress has not voted on the budget for fiscal year 2018 yet, and Martinez hopes they don't go through with the proposals.
To protect our communities, to ensure that the Department of Justice stays in the business of the Department of Justice and doesn't stray into the world of corporate profits.
Now, the Bureau says cuts could be as high as 14% of their current staff, but there's still no word as to when these cuts could take place. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. In an effort to help combat the opioid crisis, a central Massachusetts town is suing the pharmaceutical industry. The town of Southbridge says it's part of a larger lawsuit, and town councilors say it comes when Southbridge is at a crisis level. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
The town of Southbridge is joining cities and towns across the country in a lawsuit against the pharmaceutical industry. Councilors voted 7-0 this week to hold 3 large companies accountable for the opioid crisis.
Certainly we're at crisis level at times, all the time.
Southbridge will file the suit through Massachusetts opioid litigation attorneys. The suit would seek damages which would go directly to the communities who sign on.
Now I think we're pointing our frustration in the right direction. At these folks that have, in my opinion, from what I've seen, misled practitioners.
Chairwoman Denise Clements says since 2012, 20 people have died of overdoses in Southbridge. The town reported 7 deaths last year alone.
Just recently, a couple weeks ago, we had a weekend where we had 15 overdoses in one weekend, and 2 of them were the same person.
The lawsuit is not costing the town any money. Councilors say if they do win, they want the money to go to a number of things, including education.
I believe that if you educate the youth in the community on this, you're going to see a difference. It's not going to happen overnight, though.
Clemens says the lawsuit could take up to 5 years, and she would like to see other towns join to fix the problem.
This isn't going away. If we don't do something today, will we be any better in 5 years if we wait and see what happens?
That was our Rosalind Flaherty reporting. Bump stocks are now illegal in Massachusetts. The devices allow semi-automatic rifles to fire like fully automatic weapons. The law, which was passed in November, makes it illegal for anyone to possess a bump stock. Massachusetts was the first state to ban the devices after a mass shooting in Las Vegas last October. So-called trigger cranks are also banned. An early morning fire forcing 7 tenants out of their apartment building in Dudley. Residents say the fire started around 2 a.m. Thursday morning. Thankfully, everyone made it out safely. One resident says he works the night shift and had just gotten home when he heard a loud bang on his door, saying to evacuate.
Pounding on the door, there's a fire. Of course, being a 3-story, we didn't see any evidence of it. So what are you talking about? Run outside and then we see the whole place engulfed.
The fire caused smoke and water damage. The cause is under investigation. It's a piece of town history in Uxbridge. The town's almost 100-year-old fire station is being demolished. And while it's a bittersweet moment for many, a new station was desperately needed. Our Chandler Walsh has the story.
A piece of town history reduced to rubble. The old Uxbridge fire station gets demolished. Dan Hicks and Roy Henry are retired Uxbridge firefighters. They watched as their old headquarters came down.
It's just been part of the town for so long, part of my life for so long.
It's sad to see this old home that I spent a lot of my days working out of to be coming down, but sometimes we have to lose a piece of history.
The old station was built in 1928. Fire Chief Bill Kessler says it no longer fit the department's equipment.
Every piece of equipment we bought had to be essentially downsized, so it kind of limited our creativity to get apparatus to meet today's needs.
The department moved into their new station a few weeks ago. Chief Kessler says it's almost 4 times larger and now fits their ladder truck.
It gives us a whole lot more room to operate in, so it just allows us to be more efficient with our responses.
The old station was demolished Thursday to make room for town parking spaces. Hicks says the department wanted a new station, but it's a bittersweet sight.
It has a tremendous amount of memories, a lot of good things, a lot of funny things, a lot of sad things. It's kind of sad to see it go.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Burncoat High School's robotics team getting a special visit at their practice tonight. Congressman Jim McGovern stopped in to chat with the group as they prepare for their competition in March. Each year, the team visits with McGovern, asking him to request more funding for the Every Student Succeeds Act. This year's challenge, the team's robot must pick up cubes made out of milk crates covered in fabric and put them on a scale. The weight equals points. Since founding the team in 2006, Nick Galati says the team has improved.
The team has definitely grown. We've gotten stronger over the years. When we started, we could barely put a nail together, put any screws on the robot. Now we can build a robot that competes with the best of them.
This year, my goal is definitely to win the district chairmans and then move on and win the regional chairmans.
In March, the team will compete against dozens of high school teams at the WPI regional competition. For the entire month of February, the Worcester Historical Art Museum is offering free admission. The museum is hosting a number of events catering to Valentine's Day as well as school vacation week. The annual Create an Original Valentine workshop will be held during the first 2 weeks, with a winner being named during the 40th annual Be Our Valentine Award celebration. That's on February 12th. A donation from J.J. Buffaro Mechanical Contractors is making the month-long free admission possible.